the girls moving's done. Slow as they want.
All right, Mum. What's she playing?
I can see them talking, but I only hear their voices in my head. Waiting for this moment they'll be calling to me. And if I try, I'll remember that the words I never said. Only now the others hold no meaning for me. I see with wide open eyes. Like this, I'll leave the early calling skies. Silence, any place we go, shall go. We see, shall see, we go.
Don't get complacent.
I won't.
Asthma's a condition that can lie low for years. Then, out of the blue, something triggers an attack, and suddenly you're in trouble.
Thanks for the all clear, Doctor.
Give my regards to your mother, David.
Will do, Mrs. Campbell.
Thank you.
Have you given any more thought to what I've asked about enlisting?
I just want to know whether or not they take me. That's all.
But if they say yes, then that won't be all, will it?
Erica, I'm not going to do anything rash. I just want to know my options.
I suppose I was hoping that the girls and me wanting you to stay with us would be the only option you'd need.
The appointment's at 3:30. I'll be back in time for evening surgery.
David's turning into a fine young man.
Yes.
We'll best enjoy this while we can.
Well, Hitler's got enough on his plate. Let pick and fight with us.
His appetite for territory seems rather insatiable. Will you be there this evening?
If I can get away.
Oh, do try and make it, Miriam. Turning out in force to oppose Joyce's proposition is the only way to get it thrown out. Will you be there, Alison?
Of course. Boxing gloves on, granite chin at the ready.
Excellent. You may well need it. I suspect it could get rather bloody.
Oh, is the checkup?
Fine.
Good. Well, what can I get you, Alison?
Some tone will be lovely.
Oh, I was expecting you back half an hour ago, Claire.
Sorry, Mrs. Cameron. Bit of a queue at Brinsley's. And then in the grocer's, a few of us. We were talking about tonight's meeting.
As my employee, you'll appreciate that I expect you to vote in favor of my proposition tonight. Staff loyalty is a quality that I hold in very high regard. It's essential for a harmonious household.
Yes, Mrs. Cameron.
There's a list of chores on the kitchen table. I'd like them completed by the time I return. I'll be out all afternoon.
Yes, Mrs. Cameron.
Dr. Campbell? This way, please.
Waiting for inspiration, Mr. Sims?
Well, it has to come from somewhere.
We all assumed Pat was your muse.
It doesn't quite work like that.
See you at the meeting tonight?
Yes. Thought you might like a sandwich.
Another coffee would be more useful.
How did it go? Will,
You'll be pleased to know I didn't pass the medical.
what do you mean didn't pass? You're the fittest man I know.
They found a little something during the examination.
What?
A slight irregularity with my breathing.
How slight?
I'm sure it's nothing significant, but I need to get it looked at.
Well, then let's hope it's just enough to prevent you from going back in.
Be careful what you wish for.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, none of us should be under any illusion about the prospect of imminent war with Germany. If and when hostilities break out, there will be much to be done to ensure that our homes and families are protected from the trials and tribulations the war will inevitably bring. And it is for this reason that your committee proposes the Institute closes its doors until we can raise our flag again in a time of peace. It needn't be for long. The government assures us if and when they begin, hostilities could be over by Christmas.
Madam President, few who lived through the last conflict will set much store by government assurances that any war against Germany will be over swiftly.
Mrs. Barton.
When war does begin, it will hurl us all into a period of great change. Something you, Madam President, have proven steadfastly resistant to over the course of your term in office.
Mrs. Collingbourne, would you kindly control your sister?
As you know, Madam President, that isn't as straightforward as you imply.
Can you help me up?
Why? What happened to you?
Army lorry.
Sorry. You all right?
I'm late.
Where are you going?
I am more than willing to put my proposition to the vote. Any objections to that, Mrs. Barton?
Only that the membership has been so tightly managed over the years, it will almost certainly deliver whatever you ask of it.
Shame on you for not sharing my faith in our colleagues' independence of mind. Shame on you.
If we walk slower, it might not hurt so much.
I can't walk slower, Mr. Wilson. I'm late.
Well, why don't we leave your bike here, and I'll get you to where you need to be, double quick on the back of mine.
Are you sure you can carry me?
You're no heavier than a bag of mail.
Charming.
Small, light bag of mail. Uncommonly pretty eyes.
Ow.
You all right?
Ladies, it is with some surprise I announce the vote to be a tie. This means that as president, I have the casting.
So sorry I'm late. Bit of an accident on my bike, Madam President. You haven't voted yet, have you?
Indeed we have, Claire. The vote was a tie, which means that I had the casting vote.
With all due respect, Madam President.
And I cast my vote in favor of closing the Institute for the duration of the hostilities.
But I'm here now.
And it's lovely to see you, but alas, I'm afraid too late for you to vote.
I respect what you said about loyalty this morning, Mrs. Cameron. Madam President.
If I were you, I would think very carefully about what you're about to say, young lady.
Feel free to speak your mind, Miss Hillman. You're among friends here.
I'm not ashamed to say the thought of war scares me. It terrifies me, if I'm honest. But that's why I need this. You. I feel very strongly the Institute should stay open. So that's how I would have voted.
It's all very well, Miss Hillman, but I'm afraid the vote is closed.
The President's casting vote should only be used when there is a genuine deadlock. If Miss Hillman hadn't been waylaid, then she would have been present to vote with the rest of us.
Yes, but she was waylaid. And the vote was taken, and it was a tie. And consequently, I had the deciding vote.
If you don't allow Miss Hillman's vote to count, I shall have little choice but to call a vote of no confidence in the President.
This could have far-reaching consequences, Mrs. Barden. The President is, after all, elected by the members, and I urge you to think very carefully.
I demand a vote of no confidence in the President.
I have served this branch to the best of my ability for 6 long years.
I'm sorry, but I absolutely demand it.
And I categorically refuse to be subjected to this indignity, and hereby offer my immediate resignation.
They'll come back.
I don't think they will.
Well done, Francis. Well, one way or another, you've handed Joyce exactly what she wanted.
What's up with your arm?
It's fine.
Steph? Show me. Bloody hell, love.
There's nothing.
That's the cow cake.
It's my own fault. I was in a hurry to finish milking so I could get in and dry off.
That's a bad one. If it's no easy by morning, I'm calling Dr. Campbell.
Don't be such an old woman.
Here's a special announcement. The German government announced tonight their response to a British communication and gave their proposals for a settlement of the Polish problem in...
Where's Dad?
In front of the fire.
Kettle been on?
Not for an hour or so.
Right.
I've come to a decision, Ma.
What's about?
Enlisting.
What?
All the lads are talking about it.
Are you counting list?
You can't stop me when I'm 17.
You're forgetting one thing.
Neither can Dad.
I'm not talking about your dad. I'm talking about your condition.
If Doc Campbell gave me the all clear, so will the Navy.
The Navy?
As soon as I'm 17, I'm going to join the Navy.
Have you told your dad any of this?
No, I fell asleep before I could. My mind's made up, Ma. It's what I want. I'll see you in the morning.
We need to order a new stethoscope. Suspected it was on the way out. Just tried it on myself, and it appears I'm already dead.
I'll do it first thing. Might order a couple before they all get requisitioned by the army.
No need to rub it in.
Not meaning to. Just pleased on an ongoing basis.
You're back early.
We were thrown out of the cinema. This old chap was constantly sneezing, disturbing everyone, so Laura had a quiet word. I politely suggested that if he was so unwell, perhaps the cinema wasn't the best place for him.
Sound medical advice. Good for you.
And he spluttered off to the manager, who threw us out.
Though not before I told him that if we did go to war, I hope the first German bomb dropped on England would land on his cinema.
That's a terrible thing to have said.
Not with anyone in it.
So you're banned from the cinema now?
For life.
Come on, we're starting.
Aren't you pleased to be able to stay at home to see those two banned from every cinema in Cheshire?
What every father dreams of.
How is it?
We need to keep the arm in this position for a couple of days. After that, you can take the sling off. But you must look after it until the pain is completely gone. She's lucky it's not broken.
She? I'm not one of the bloody cows.
My apologies.
What, Dad?
Bad enough Stan being in two minds whether to call out you or the vet.
No point in telling you to take a few days off work, I suppose.
I like a man who can answer his own questions. Saves me the bother of stating the obvious.
Look after her.
Fresh straw and everything.
You think he's joking?
Have you spoken to him?
If this is what he wants, we can't stop him.
You've forgotten how old he is.
I was a year younger.
And if you were my son, I'd have stopped you.
You wouldn't have had the option. Young men are drawn to war like moths to flame, Mem. It's their chance to prove themselves.
Or be blown to pieces, trying.
From a bullet or regret. More than one way to die.
Spare me the glory of the battlefield, Bryn. It took us years to get through it. You still can't pour a jug with a steady hand.
That said, I'd sooner have gone than not.
David isn't ready.
No one is. You're not listening. It's not a choice. Not for most.
Well, now your precious institute's closed, perhaps I'll have your full attention.
You've always had my full attention, Bob.
No, your mind is frequently elsewhere. And it should be focused on ensuring that the only breadwinner in the house is adequately looked after.
But if you'd allow me to work, I could help alleviate some of the financial worry.
We've had this conversation.
But
No, but we've had this conversation. Yes? Why aren't you having any?
Is there only enough bacon for one?
You have it. Hands and knees, Bab. I'm waiting.
I'm begging you to help me. After you gave David the all clear, he went straight down the recruitment office to find out about signing up.
When the time comes, they'll give him a medical, and if they find anything relating to asthma, they simply won't take him.
Tell them he's got it.
David is a young man.
He's not a young man. He's a boy. A 16-year-old child.
I understand how you must be feeling.
You have 2 daughters who'll never see action. You can't possibly understand how I'm feeling. All I'm asking is you write to the recruitment office and tell them that David has a history of chronic asthma.
But Miriam, he doesn't. It's acute at best and has thankfully been on the wane for a number of years.
They don't need to know that.
That's quite enough.
With all due respect, Erica, this is between me and Dr. Campbell.
Will has looked after your family for many years. He has great affection for you all, but you're asking him to commit a malpractice. He can't possibly do that.
I sympathise, I really do.
But you'll do nothing.
I can't do what you're asking.
If they take him, my son will die.
Miriam, I think you should leave now.
Save my child.
She won't be the last.
The county organiser thought we had little choice but to close due to catastrophic loss of membership.
She had been in touch with Joyce, but Joyce has refused to return, which of course means that none of her supporters will either.
She suggested we join our nearest institute for the duration.
Did she explain how we're meant to cover 16 miles there and back on bicycle? At night, with military vehicles charging all over the place?
She did not.
So that's it. Either way, Joyce has got what she wanted. The closure of the WI.
Well, not if we attract more members.
How are we going to do that?
In all honesty, I've no idea. But that doesn't mean we give up.
I should be getting back.
And me.
You did what you thought was the right thing to do.
Up to a point. Then I acted on impulse and made the situation intractably worse. Me and my big mouth strike again.
Well, I happen to love you and your big mouth.
Thank you, Peter. That makes me feel marginally better.
Cookie says supper will be 5 minutes while the beef rests.
Thank you, Claire.
Is there something else?
I just want to thank you for letting me come and work here after Mrs. Cameron let me go.
No, we couldn't stand by and see you suffer for speaking your mind. Mrs. Cameron's loss is very much our gain.
You're very welcome here, Claire.
I can't thank you enough.
You just have.
Well, here's to speaking your mind.
I forget to do the little happy as a king. And foolish though it may seem to me, that's everything. The mere idea of you, the longing here for you. You'll never know how slow the moments go till I'm near to you. I see your face in every flower, your eyes in stars above. It's just the thought of you, the very thought of you,
You're thinking about Joyce, aren't you? I can practically hear the pistons of frustration pounding in your head.
I'm not wasting any more mental energy on that woman. But I am thinking about how we might resurrect the Institute.
Well, might not mothballing be for the best, for the time being, given that everyone's looking inwards now?
On the contrary, war can be very isolating. The Institute would provide women with a sense of community and purpose while their men are away.
Oh, I understand that.
Shh, 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 shh. Look. What would Alison do without the WI? I'll tell you. She works all the hours God gives. Without the WI to get her out of the house once a month, her life would almost entirely consist of accounts and that dog.
The bushes are dripping with blackberries this year. Couldn't help noticing. You can see them even in moonlight. You're right.
What an absolutely brilliant man you are. In 4 days, Alison will commemorate the loss of her George in a North Atlantic convoy 23 years ago. His name carved forever onto the village war memorial. The very first fatality of the Great War was a merchant seaman. In all likelihood, the very first fatality of this war will be one too, sailing the same route for the same reason, to keep this nation supplied with food. Which is why every pound of fruit we preserve as jam is a pound that won't need to be shipped here through treacherous waters. To that end, I've made a survey of the local area and put together this map of all the blackberry hedgerows in and around the village boundary. Our aim must be to collect it all.
Frances?
Well, we never made jam under Joyce Cameron. She thought it was too down market for her WI. By making it now, it would serve as a signal to all the women of Great Paxford who felt excluded by Joyce and her crowd. It would be a line in the sand between the old institute and the new.
A line in the sand made of jam? There's miles of it.
And very few of us.
We can't be daunted at the first hurdle. Others will answer the call. I'm sure of it.
When?
Oh, have faith, ladies. Hold fast.
Women of Great Paxford, join us for a harvest of blackberries for the purpose of making jam. For the purpose of making jam, why not just say to make jam?
Because they know how to make it sound better.
Bollocks.
Unlike you.
This will be a small part of our planned contribution to the nation's food supply in the event of war and a relaunch of the Village Women's Institute following its recent closure. All welcome. All in capital letters. What do you reckon?
What, baking cakes and arranging flowers is not for me.
Well, this doesn't mention cakes or flowers, but it does say all in capital letters.
Not for me.
You should go. For the purpose of getting out more.
Leave it, Stanley, all right?
Move out.
Right.
When the saints go marching in, oh, when the saints go marching in, I want to be in that number. Oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, when the stars fall from the sky, oh, when the stars fall from the sky, I want to be in that
Brought back your bicycle.
when the saints go
I think you're mistaken, Mr. Wilson. That's not mine.
It is. Fixed the brakes, replaced the chain, cleaned and oiled the gears, a nice new basket, repaired your saddle, changed both tyres, refitted new inner tubes, and cleaned and polished your frame.
Well, that must have set you back.
Bill for parts and labour stands at you calling me Spencer?
Oh. Very well. Thank you so much. Spencer.
It's my pleasure.
Oh, Claire.
Well, bye then. Claire.
Hi, Spencer. And thanks ever so much.
That's all.
Spencer. Lovely bicycle. Isn't it?
From the sky.
Is Bob getting any work published at the moment?
A little local journalism here and there.
No new book on the horizon.
Oh, he isn't finding it easy following the success of his first novel. I do what I can to help. Take care of the day-to-day things so he's free to focus on his work. Try and keep him happy so his mind can focus on being creative. Cook him his favourite food, that sort of thing. Tonight I cooked him pilchards. Bob loves pilchards.
A lot more than I'd expected. We've been at it for hours, haven't we? We have. We've had a good day like hot sun. Look at you.
I want to apologise for the other day.
There's no need.
Should never have put Dr. Campbell in that position. Or said half the things I did.
I understand. I can't imagine how it must feel to think of your child going off to fight.
What? Heading for the village?
If Will doesn't need me, I'll be straight back.
I heard Bob shouting for help. I found him being violently sick and doubled up in pain on the hall floor. We need to go, Doc. Tell Pat.
asked me to let you know Bob won't be discharged until tomorrow afternoon at the earliest. Whatever it is, it's really knocked him for 6.
I think I know what it was.
Really?
Pilchards.
What?
They must have been on the turn.
Well, don't look so worried. Anyone can make a mistake.
Why won't you take me money?
If you hadn't allowed us to pick your fruit, we'd never been able to make all this.
I'm not going till you let me pay for it. Not for the WA, not for you. The fleet.
It would be lovely to see you at our meeting this evening.
Busy, I'm afraid.
All the more reason. Everyone gets so much from it.
Without it, I sometimes think I'd curl up in bed and never get up.
Oh, Mr. Wilson. Oh, Spencer.
There.
Would you like to try some of our jam?
Why not?
I help make it. Try that.
Delicious. What did you do?
I added the delicious.
Spencer,
Jenny.
you taking me for that drink or what?
Would you like to try our jam?
No, thanks. Looks awful.
I helped make it.
Probably riddled with bits of wasp.
Each part includes an invitation to join our new Women's Institute.
Do I look like someone who joined the WI?
Well, possibly not the old one, but the new one might entice even you.
Come on, Spence, I'm parched.
I didn't have him down as a wolf.
Welcome home, Bob.
You're welcome, sir.
I have him now, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Quite all right.
Go steady. How are you feeling?
You mean after your poisoning?
I didn't realise the fish was on the turn.
Because you're too busy with your damned institute.
No.
Why are you all dressed up?
It's the first meeting of the new...
You're not going.
But...
I need you to look after me, yes?
Yes.
That's all you have to do, Patricia. Look after me.
No one else is coming, are they?
At least we sold all the jam. Proves people's sense of patriotism is alive and well.
True. Am I late? No, not at all. Everyone, this is Miss Fenchurch, our school's new teacher.
Hello.
she not speak?
Oh, on the contrary.
Behind you.
Only you? I thought as much. Hardly the making of a new institute.
Oh, excuse me. I thought I'd come and have a look. Is the meeting still on?
Not noticeably.
It is, in as much as we're here. I'll just get the girls off the trailer.
The girls?
It's on, girls! Come on, girls, park yourselves. I hope you don't mind. I mentioned it to some of the women round my way.
No, of course not. The more the merrier.
You say that now. Come on, ladies, quick as you like.
Are you staying or leaving, Mrs. Cameron?
This will fail, Mrs. Collingbourne. Lowering standards never works.
The only thing that's failed is your determined attempt to keep this institute at the preserve of your favoured snobs and sycophants. But then that, like so much else, is about to change. Now, if you're willing to change with us, then you are very welcome to stay. And
When I
if
want a
not,
homily on the joys of transformation, I'll listen to the organ grinder in church on Sunday. Not his monkey in the village hall midweek. Enjoy the company of your new friends while you can. This, whatever this purports to be, can't possibly survive.
It doesn't purport to be anything. It is Great Paxford's new Women's Institute.
If you say so, Mrs. Collingbourne. Good evening.
You are most welcome. Good jam, by the way. Too sweet for me. But my two loved it. I prefer damson. There'll be plenty on the trees in a week, and we've got a spare shed if you need to store anything.
That would be utterly fantastic.
I've got some other ideas if you'd like to hear them.
Like to. We'd love to.
Ladies, please, come in.
You're most welcome.
The beginning of the evening, it looked like no one was going to come, but by the end...
I had a call from the consultant an hour ago. Good doctor, nice man.
And?
I have lung cancer, Erica.
What?
Apparently, I have lung cancer.
But that's not possible.
They've caught it early.
You haven't got cancer, Will.
Erica. I'm afraid I have.
But what do we tell the girls?
Until there's something they really need to know, can't we leave them as they are? The whole country's in a heightened state of jumping the gun. Let's not follow suit.
We can't just continue as normal.
Yes, as normal. Precisely that. For as long as possible. Please.
Be careful what you wish for.
If you don't waste any time.
There isn't any to waste.
Don't stop.
Why don't you take me out one day?
Frances asked, and I didn't want to let her down.
What about me?
You want to go and fight? Stan. Go.
I truly believe that that's how I can best serve God.
What God wants, God gets.
We begin by ploughing up the cricket pitch.
Nothing to do with me, of course. I no longer remember.
I'm afraid to the trained eye, you look like you're running a well-oiled criminal enterprise.
They're good.